Fighting in Mariupol ended months ago. Kiev calls this a temporarily occupied city. They allege that they will retake Mariupol just as soon as America and Germany give them enough new weapons. Now, if you only listen to Kiev and you believe their narrative, then Mariupol remains a completely destroyed city. The only people who live there are elderly and disabled people who have no means to leave. If you go there, the Russians will kidnap you and take you to a prison camp in Siberia. And all of the cars and all of the medical equipment and all of the machinery, it's been looted and taken back to Russia, allegedly. Well, the reality is much different. And we can get a very good sense of what the reality is from YouTube. There is a phenomenal amount of videos posted from inside Mariupol every single day. Now, some of these are just people speaking in Russian, and I don't speak Russian, so I don't know what they're saying, so I just fast forward through that. But a lot of them are people driving around just videotaping what's going on with no commentary at all. And what you see is giant construction projects, buildings and homes being repaired and rebuilt all over the place, all kinds of road work, all kinds of utility work, all kinds of landscaping. There's a huge amount of activity going on. And there's clearly tens of thousands of people still in Mariupol, including families with small children. And the situation is improving each week. So there's a lot of places now where electricity and running water has been restored. Of course, you also still see a lot of people walking around with bottles. So drinking water is being distributed in a large number of places, and you see people walking back and forth to these places with bottles. So the drinking water hasn't been restored everywhere. And you see small shops open selling food in both rubles and hryvnias. You see some cafes and restaurants open. You see food trucks everywhere. You see people selling produce along the streets. But then you also see delivery vans distributing food to people everywhere. You see a bunch of places where hot meals are being distributed both by religious institutions as well as what I assume is the DPR, the Donetsk People's Republic. So you have this dual situation going on where you have a lot of people buying food and going to cafes and restaurants, but then you also have delivery vans everywhere distributing free food. Now here's the city of Mariupol. I can tell you where the major construction projects are. So this green patch right here is where they're building a bunch of new apartment complexes. And right here is a shopping center. Right here is a grocery marketplace. And so a lot of you have probably seen this on social media where these 5-story apartment complexes are being built. That's right here. And then this area here is all being cleared for a lot more stuff. And then down the street, this is Freedom Square. So if you've seen all the pictures and videos where there's lamp posts with doves on them, that's right here. And there's a giant construction project right here in this green space. Now, there's a hospital being built that is right here. It is. It's right here. This building has been leveled and wiped out. It's gone. And I think these two buildings have been wiped out. And the hospital is being built right here. Now, another point of interest is right here. Ferris wheel. This is, the Ferris wheel. And so you can see this giant Ferris wheel in the background in all kinds of videos in this area. So right here, the DPR has put a bunch of captured Ukrainian military vehicles on display. One of them is a technical that supposedly Azov battalion built. So for those of you who like to see technicals, I'll have a shot of that later in the video. Then over here, there's this stage, there's this big park. All kinds of events have been going on right here. So they've had bands, orchestras, dancers, and even a stage illusionist. So there's been all kinds of stuff going on right here. Some of the northern parts of the city were less destroyed, and some of the schools up here already reopened. There's two huge industrial parks. These played a huge role in the Battle of Mariupol. You've got Azov Mash and Azov Stal down here. And these are basically giant steel plants. Now, there's construction work already going on in here. The word is that these plants were very outdated, put out a massive amount of pollution, and that one modern steel plant with modern equipment could outperform both of them put together. So the plan now is to make one modern steel plant right here. And then this will all be something different. There's talk, at least part of Azovstal will become a park. And, you know, there's a bunch of beaches here. Some of them look pretty nice in videos. Now, I want to show you another point of interest. If you're in a different part of Ukraine and you want to get to Russian or DPR or LPR controlled territory, or you want to get to Russia itself, you can't really cross into Kherson or Donetsk or Lugansk. That's all very perilous. But south of the city of Zaporizhia, I believe right around here, I don't know exactly where it is, but this is where Russia and Ukraine have conducted POW exchanges. This is where they hand over the bodies of KIAs, and some civilians are crossing. It's complicated to get across. You have to get permission from both sides. It can take a very long time, but this is the only place along the front lines where people are crossing. And I'll get back to this in just a moment. So here's the full plan for the site I just showed you. Right here you can see the shopping center. Here's the grocery market. So the apartment buildings being built right now are these: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then shortly, construction will begin on 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so allegedly, by the end of November, there's going to be 1,100 units right here. Now, I don't know what this building is going to be. It shows another one right here. I can't figure this weird thing out. If anyone knows, post a comment below. This red stuff, I don't know what that's going to be. Now, they're going to make a school, and you see the track and soccer field and everything. And then there's actually going to be a second phase and many more apartment buildings, all this pink. But by the end of November, there's allegedly going to be 12 5-story buildings completed with 1,100 units. Russia has set up a claims process for people to request compensation for destroyed property. So as these new units are completed, they will be given out as compensation to people who owned a flat that was destroyed. I mentioned that there is a place south of the city of Zaporizhia that people could cross. Well, Euronews dropped a huge bombshell. They said that 150 to 200 vehicles are crossing per day despite all the difficulties, and that some of these people are trying to return to their homes in Russian occupied territories, but a lot of them are just Ukrainians from other places that are seeking jobs, which is a pretty sensational claim. According to Euronews, Ukrainian citizens from other parts of Ukraine are entering Russian-held territory for jobs. Now, recently, Russia expanded their citizenship program to include all Ukrainians. Any Ukrainian citizen can very easily apply for and receive Russian citizenship now. The bottom line is there's a lot going on in Mariupol. Things are being built at a very fast rate. Now, if the United States government starts a major construction project, after 6 months, nothing is finished, but the project is already 50% over budget. So the rate I'm seeing things being built seems extremely fast compared to projects carried out by the U.S. government. I see people on social media saying, oh, these apartment buildings are being built so fast, it's got to be crap, it's got to be, horrible construction that's not going to last. Well, the apartment buildings being built where I live look like they're being made out of popsicle sticks and styrofoam. What I'm seeing in Mariupol here is steel reinforced concrete. It looks a lot sturdier than the apartment buildings being built where I live. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It seems like they're making buildings that are going to last. So here's the footage I promised earlier, the Azov Battalion Technical. Here you have it, a truck with a snorkel, machine gun, metal shield with some windows for the gunner to look through. A lot of people love to see these technicals. I mean, each one is an individual work of art. It's not a mass-produced military vehicle. Of course, the downside is that it's not armored, but I guess you drive it somewhere and the driver can bail out and hide in a ditch while the gunner is firing, and he has some level of protection. But there you have it, an actual Ukrainian technical. Now here we have a stage illusionist performing in Mariupol. Now this actual trick is a little bit on the lame side. I mean, I wish that the person that videotaped this had shown more, because he probably did better tricks than this. He's got these two gorgeous babes dancing, but I mean, this trick itself doesn't really impress me that much, but there you have it. There was a stage illusionist performing in Mariupol recently. The next clip I'm going to show you triggered a bunch of outrage in Ukrainian state-sponsored media. So Russia has something called Urine Army, which is the young cadets program. It's just like JROTC in America. It's to cultivate future military officers among like middle school age students. Russia apparently wasted no time in setting up a chapter in Mariupol, and there was a cell phone video showing them marching and singing. So that small cell phone clip was a major source of outrage in Ukrainian government funded media. They really hated that. So there you have it, an overview of what's going on in the city of Mariupol right now. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below. Please subscribe to my backup channels on Odyssey and BitChute. Also, you can support me on Subscribestar and click the subscribe button. New video every few days.